Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report. Yeah, what a morning. It is the government's reopened and everything's being rug pulled on us here. We got a daily here, kind of red. Hourly, though, we are getting a little bit of green. Alex, though, joining us here in the chat. He was just over there trading this and making some money. So, maybe we'll keep this up today. Who knows? Who can tell? No one knows. Maybe Trump will give us a tweet sometime today. But right now, guys, looking at what we're seeing here on the chart, right there, we're just kind of trading right back inside of this platinum pocket and not really going anywhere in particular. So we're going to go ahead and see how this show goes today. See if OC's got audio. He's having some Cozumel Mexican internet issues today. So, we'll see how it goes. If not, though, I am prepared to roll solo with you guys, but I appreciate you all. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class is in session. Get your notebooks out. We'll see you on the other side. Let's go. Yeah, so guys, we do have a little setup here on the change. As you can tell here, this little piece is supposed to be going away. I went back to the normal size instead of the widescreen because I think that was causing some of our issues on the broadcast that was giving us, hey, this isn't going to work because you've got too much stuff going on. So I don't know. We'll figure it all out. But guys, welcome to the morning market report. We appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and try OC. Let's see if he's working. OC, do we have audio? No, there is no audio. No audio, bro. No audio. So we're going to go ahead and let you continue working that. Guys, we're going to go through, we got some news to go through today. We're going to talk about some charts. OC is going to continue working his audio issues, but we're going to keep rolling for you guys because we do have some news to get into. So let's go ahead and jump in on that. But first, let's take a look at this actual Bitcoin chart and talk about what we're seeing on here. So we did get the government reopened. We're not going to be getting any data. Evidently, that's not going to be a thing for us for October, which I thought that might be the volatility catalyst. We're not really seeing the catalyst coming from that, but the government reopening, kind of a big nothing burger. Audio check is good, OC. We got you, bro. Look at you. So we're not really seeing a whole lot here on the government reopening, and we're not seeing a whole lot on the volatility side. We do have an uptrend. We did get a hidden bullish divergence on the oscillator, but I don't put a lot of stock in these, especially when we come up this close to a 786, which is a previous resistance level, and we start to head down. I do think we're going to head down a little bit lower. I'm looking for a $100,000 retest, honestly. Looking at the higher time frames here, this is the weekly. We still are not getting the bright green oscillator candles, which I told you until we do that, I don't feel like the bottom is in. But, we'll see what OC has to say. Get him up here real fast. OC, welcome. Welcome. Talk for the people, man. Oh, my God. Are you serious? No OC again.
Oh, gotta fix this one.
Bro, I'm coming down to Cozumel and we're going to fight. You better get your cartel buddies.
Oh, man, it's been a nightmare. Yesterday, I just went to bed to 3 a.m. trying to fix this thing up. There was a Windows update and it messed everything, like everything, audio settings, video card settings. Man, I've been pulling hairs out of my head throughout the night.
Whoa, sir.
I think I got it.
Nobody messes with Superman's curls, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. Mexican Superman's curls cannot be pulled out. So what are you seeing on Bitcoin? Let's go ahead and pull up your chart. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real fast, and then we'll come back, knock out the news. I got several articles we want to get through. But if you guys are just joining us here, appreciate you guys joining us. Shout out to everybody in the chat, Otter Gang, the alumni, newcomers. Please smash that like button. It helps us out tremendously. And much love to all of you guys. OC, what do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. So this is the trend line that we left out with, like you can see a couple of touches in here. And if we respect this very low right here on the week, we can actually update this like being something around this area since we have a confirmed bottom here. Something important, it doesn't really matter how you handle that trend line. The truth matter is that we have a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, and right now we're creating another lower high, right? So what is next? Next, it's either double bottom or lower low. So do expect a little bit more downside in these zones, other than if we are just going to visit for some liquidity. The only way that I'm going to start going back and being a little bit more bullish will be, as we talked about, breaking above that zero line, and of course seeing my money flow also getting to the green spot. So far we're having a little bit more money flow jumping in, therefore giving us this little bounce to the upside, right? Let's go for the worst backslash best case scenario where we finding some support. We also have a what it seems to be forming a head and shoulders, and guess what is the neckline? The neckline is right here at 101 and coming back down to this candle somewhere again within the same area, 101 138. So still looking bearish. I mean, if you want to be trading this, I would say go to the lower time frames, 12 minutes, 5 minutes, somewhere that you can actually trade this volatility. Because so far, I mean, we just have had to trade so far from here to there and from here to there, and that's basically it, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that it is not profitable, but if you're looking into some scalping, well, you can also follow up Alex or Crypto on his channel. He does what, the 1 second, the 1 millisecond stuff. But yeah,
3 minute trading.
3 minute trading. There you go. All right, fantastic. Very, very fast, by the way. But so far, let's go into the daily here, or even to the weekly. Let's just keep track on what's happening here. We are back on that same support. Remember, and I'm gonna be keep drilling this into your head, guys. I'm very sorry, but this is a very good area to start looking first. If you think that we are gonna be making this little ranging here and pushing over, well, then remember, I already have bought something here for my spot buys, right? And then if you think that this is going to follow below or follow lower, well, then keep a little bit of your dry powder, because we're getting closer to that support. I know this is a little messy. Let me start turning things off in here. And there it is. I think that is a little bit better, right? And we see what we got in here. We have a nice auto-calculated trend line from Chart Prime, which is a slightly bit lower than my trend line here on my channel, which means we can still do something like this and then bounce, but we still have that huge high order block. We also have this other high order block, very, 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 very bullish at the bottom, and that's where I'm getting my cards within. If we fall below, I would say a 95, which is going to be my last line in the sand line in the sand. I think we still are looking at somewhere around the 80s to bounce back from. But if that happens, I will actually be calling the bear market to maybe be on place. But so far, so good. We are buying at support, or at least I'm buying spot at support. But yeah, that's what I got so far on Bitcoin.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. So actually, if you look at your head and shoulders, because that neckline off of the first right shoulder, yeah, your head and shoulders. If you actually look at where that's touching, excuse me, you could actually move that neckline up a little bit closer, and we could be getting the retest on it there. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you put it back, you see what I'm saying? Are you with me? Let's go back to that and check
Yes.
it out. Let's see what that looks like.
Absolutely. So let's just fix that trend line in here. Let me just push it over a little bit higher. So it will be something like this, where we have this bottoming of that bottom shoulder, and then a little bit, there we go, something
Yeah,
more like within
yeah,
line with
that's what
that
I
head
was
and
thinking.
shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this could
We could be
actually be
having that
the
retest.
retest of it to the downside already. So it all depends on how you skew the lines, guys. At the end of the day, it's astrology. It's astrology for crypto bros, right? But yeah, we're definitely seeing some weakness on some of the indicators. We'll go into the higher time frames and talked about that here in just a little bit. But real fast, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Dave Digital, Alexandra G, JR, Mike Play in here, JR's in here. What the hell is going on with the markets exactly? Um, that's why we had that intro, guys. The Bitcoin guy just dancing around on the edge there. We got Dave Digital here. JR is in here, our trader from inside of our community. RS Miller, username. I appreciate Dave Brumbelow. The Brumblebee is in here. Average Crypto Joe said he needed more coffee earlier. I saw that. BC Port Corp, Massey 33. decent crypto. I'm sure that D Jenny from the blockchain will be watching this later. He always comments on the videos later on, so I appreciate you. Shout out to you, man. And Isaac in here. A lot of people coming in over. Anthony Soprano over there from the Alex O crypto community. We got the Otter gang in here with Brave Dave. Alex O, there he is right there. Speak of the man, and he shall appear. And T.I. Joe, Trade Intuition. I appreciate all of you guys joining us here. If I missed your names, it's just because I'm trying to get into the news, man. Guess what? Still no data. Still no. Oh, we got a Piper Academy gifted membership there from BC Port Court. Appreciate you, BC. You are awesome, man. I asked Alex the same question last week, Dave Digital. What do I get? Tumbleweeds. That's what. Not on my charts. Okay. OC is the king of tumbleweeds on your chart. So, yeah, we'll show you that later.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump over into the news, and let's talk about that, guys. Looking at the metrics here into the cryptoverse, crypto market cap currently sitting at $3.454 trillion. Trend line on this is at 4.65. So here's the problem. You guys see now we're at almost 26% under. The trend line continues in an upward motion. If we look at this over the entire history, it's a logarithmic band, okay? And being beneath it, we can go quite a ways underneath it here at each cycle bottom, right? But we've had trouble getting above it. This entire cycle has just been resistance for us. We get above it for a second, we get a bounce, and then pulls right back in. Get a bounce, pulls right back in. The problem with this metric is right now on the crypto market cap is that it's going to continue going up as price even goes sideways. So we're going to see this undervaluation get lower and lower, and eventually we're going to be down in these lower. Because if you look here, like this section here, it was just pretty much sideways. You can see the line right there. It was just sideways. But it kept getting further and further from the band because the valuation trend line was moving at an upward angle. So right now, 25.78% undervalued. Current risk band on Bitcoin sitting at 46.8. And I'm curious. I just want to check out like Solana, 54.7. So the risk of investing into Solana versus Bitcoin right now is higher. So lower risk right now investing into Bitcoin. Ethereum, high risk, almost 60%. BNB, very low, actually, which is crazy, 44%. Solana, 54.7%. XRP, 66.8%, meaning, hey, this is very high risk. This is almost at a profit-taking level on XRP right now. Doge, super low risk on that. ADA, super low risk on that. So really, Solana and XRP are showing that they're very risky to buy. But and so is TRX, 58.7%. But Bitcoin and some of the other tokens are showing that they are dropping. Me personally, I'm not really interested in picking up alts until I start to see these wristbands of 1.5 or lower coming in on Bitcoin before I'll look at altcoins. But yeah, just to give you an example, just a comparison there of Bitcoin's risk levels versus some of the alts. What about Bitcoin dominant sitting at 59.32%, closing in on 60% there? Without the stable coins included in that, we're about at 64.92 to be exact. Altcoin season, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, sit in the back and be quiet. We'll get there when we get there. The latest score on the index is 40. So we are not near that 75. Twice we hit it. And I said, I don't think we're going to be here long. And yeah, back down we go. We're now sitting at 40 right now, getting very close to 25, which would make it Bitcoin season. Liquidations in the past 24 hours, guys. We are looking at last 24 hours, 150,000 almost, 149,486. That many traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $568 million, so well over $500 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on Hyperliquid. It was PopCat. Is FD White in the house? FD White, you trying to trade PopCat? Lost $21.29 million there on that trade. One person, $21 million gone. Let's look at the bookmarks here for X marks the spot. Got a couple of things here I want to go over. Fear and greed index right now, we're in extreme fear. Extreme fear. Yeah, we're sitting at 15, guys. Michael Burry. Do you guys remember him? OC, check this out, bro. Michael Burry, the big short dude. He's closed down his hedge fund, said it's done by the end of the year. Scion is gone. Scion Asset Management, shutting it down, acknowledging that he just doesn't understand today's market. You're probably right. He said it with a very heavy heart. I will liquidate the funds and return capital, but for a small audit and tax holdback by year's end. My estimation of value in securities is not now and has not been for some time in sync with the markets. With heartfelt thanks, but also with apologies, I wish you well in the future investments. I do suggest investors contact my associate. Phil is a tremendous young talent in the field and the most prodigious thinker I have ever encountered. Hopefully, he does better than Michael Burry, because Michael Burry has been calling the Big Short 20 of the last two Big Short opportunities. Yeah. There you go. So Michael Burry leaving the industry. Lunar Beaches Crypto put this out yesterday. Shout out to LBC. Not exactly the headline you want to see. Clean Spark, Bitcoin miner. They've borrowed $1.15 billion at 0% so that they can survive the brutal Bitcoin mining shakeout. Evidently, they're having some troubles over there. We'll have to get Buck to talk about that at some point here in our community, because he's into mining big time. Curious to see what's going on with this and why CleanSpark needed to borrow $1.15 billion. Evidently, the miners are going to be in trouble. That's what that tells me. And then lastly, no more can I give you a penny for my thoughts. Why? Because they're no longer going to be around. U.S. has officially produced its final penny. This ends a 232-year run on the penny production that began in 1793. Rip pennies, hashtag rip pennies. Put it in the chat. No more pennies for you guys. No more pennies for your thoughts. Can't give you 2 cents anymore. You got to get 5 cents. Here's my 5 cents. And then here we go. This is the thing that I was talking about the economic data report. Let's see if we can get the audio on this up.
Policymakers at the Fed. The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. And all of that economic data released will be permanently impaired, leaving our policymakers at the Fed flying blind at a critical period.
Yeah, that makes you feel real good. Makes you feel real good. I'll tell you what data we did get. U.S. private employers cut an average of 11,250 jobs per week over the 4 weeks ending October 25th. That's the data we didn't get from the Fed right there, the BLS. But we did get some private numbers, and they kind of give you a little window, like through the keyhole of what the bigger picture is. Yeah, 11,250 jobs per week. That brings a 4-week total to negative 45,000 jobs. That's the second largest drop since 2020 when we had COVID lockdown going on, guys. This contrasts with ADP's monthly report, which showed private sector pay raises rose 42,000 in October following declines in the prior 2 months. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs estimates that payrolls fell about 50,000 jobs in October. That's why we're not getting that data, guys. That right there is why we are not getting economic data. 50,000 jobs in October. Downward momentum on the U.S. job market is accelerating. So we'll come back. I got a couple of other things here we're going to talk about from Willie Woo and the Wolf of All Street. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's jump over here and take a look at what's going on in the TradFi world. Force that reload. Just force it. Just let it happen. Shh. Looking at the U.S. here, guys, Dow Jones down 0.11% right now. S&P down about 0.5%, and the Nasdaq down 1 full percent. Russell 2K small caps also down 1 full percent, and the volatility index, the VIX, coming in at 18 right now, well over the 17 threshold, where we start to see a lot of volatility in the markets. How's the bonds looking? Look, rate cuts, but yeah, we're at 4.111 here, up about 0.03%. The 10-year yield not coming down, which means your mortgage rates, your car loans, your loan rates in general, credit cards, all that not coming down despite rate cuts. Why? Because they don't want to take the risk right now with people on their debt. So what about gold? Gold is sitting at $4,200. It is down about 0.25%, but still holding above $4,200. We've got silver sitting at $53, down about 0.8%. Copper is on its way up at 0.77. Platinum and palladium both down about 1% each there. Let's talk about this. Trump signs the funding bill and ends the government shutdown. And yes, it did include the hemp prohibition. So that is now a thing nationwide, which means that all these companies, it doesn't affect already legalized cannabis products like medical or like New Mexico. They have recreational, Las Vegas. but it does set the precedence for the nation, for the states that use the Delta 8 and the hemp-based products, okay? And so that prohibition that was in this bill for, because it has a lot to do with the government reopening, obviously, right? No, not at all. What this does is it now makes it where all these people that had been like, hey, look, I have a Delta 8 company. We deal in CBD products from hemp-based. And my banking, all that, they can't do their banking. They can't do federal taxation on it. So, yeah, it's really stupid, in my opinion, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. This is going to put a big crush on a lot of businesses throughout the states, especially Texas, Kentucky, all them. Kentucky, big time. But yeah, it did get approved with all of that. Let's go see what it says here. Donald Trump late Wednesday signed into law the funding bill for the longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history. The measure, which will fund government operations through the end of the January, was just passed. So this will only take us through January 30th. There you go. Democrats tried to extort our country, Trump said before signing the bill in the Oval Office at the White House to reopen the government after 43 days. Democrats had blocked passage of a funding bill until Sunday when a block of the party's Senate caucus agreed to support the funding measure. Despite not getting that extension for the ACA tax credits, Republicans never wanted a shutdown. People were hurt so badly. He said, she said, blah, blah, blah. You're all crooks. Trump did not take questions from reporters after the signing, despite several of them trying to ask about the release. You guys hear about this? By the House Democrats earlier in the day of documents from the estate of his former friend, Jeffrey Epstein, the notorious sex offender. He was asked about these things, but he ignored a question about emails by Epstein referring to him. Trump has denied knowing about Epstein's sexual abuses of underage girls and young women when they were friends. House Speaker Mike Johnson, before Wednesday's vote and comments backing the bill, said, my friends, let's get this done. Just two Republicans. Let's just squeeze this thing in here about Jeffrey Epstein when people want to know about the government reopening. I love it. I don't know. I think he's going to say this is a smear campaign, and it very well could be. I mean, they're all crooked there in D.C., so we'll have to see how this all plays out. But yeah, government is officially reopened. Looking at the crypto bubbles here on the hourly, a little bit of green on the daily, quite a bit of red still. How are we looking on Bitcoin? It is down 1.1% for the daily. Ethereum is down about 1.7%. Big movers, 2.9% upside for XRP on the back of all the ETF data that's coming out. A lot of ETF stuff coming out on XRP. Starting to now, it's in real time. And so that's why we're seeing a little pump there in XRP. Solana, though, down 2.1%. Other big movers, pretty much flat, guys, honestly. Zcash is up 7.3% still. Can't bring that big beast down. I got a buddy that's trying to long that thing at 500. We'll see how that's working out for him. Right now, it's at 491.63. Flat. Yeah, looks pretty flat. Looks like a big nothing burger, in my opinion, on the markets right now. Looking at the economic calendar today, guys, nothing. Fed hammock speaking. We got the EIA, IOU, LGBTQ, XMY, gasoline and crude oil thing going on here. No big deal there. Nothing, nada. All of this jobs data and CPI, this is what we want. What are we going to get tomorrow? Are we going to get PPI? Probably not. This October data, you see it, don't have a time. So even the PPI that's supposed to be out tomorrow, Alex O's favorite thing, PP in your eye, not going to happen. We're not seeing that they're firing up to do this at all, but probably because they got to put all the data together and aggregate it so that they can say, okay, yeah, we're ready to talk about the previous month. It's going to be a cluster for a while, and we're seeing that is the case when we take a look at the flashbang here. Check it out. Here's our December rate cut prediction now. You guys see what's going on here? 53% chance we get a rate cut. We're now at a 46.6% chance that we don't see a rate cut. Why would that be? Because at the end of the day, let's get the flashbang off the screen. Why would that be? Because we're not getting any data. So the Fed Reserve is having to operate in the blind, and they don't want to pull the trigger in one direction and say, yeah, we're going to cut rates. But then they find out that inflation has gone astronomical, or that the jobs data wasn't as bad as what everyone thinks. So at the end of the day, I think they're getting to a 50-50 chance that they may not even cut rates in December, guys. And I do think that that will be a pullback on the markets also, because a lot of that has been cooked in that we were going to see a December rate cut. And now it's possible we will not see one at all. Matter of fact, we do still see weakening of the labor market despite lacks of data. Starbucks Workers Union launches a strike in at least 40 cities today. So if you're trying to get your Starbucks coffee, save your money. That's less than the price of your Starbucks coffee. Will get you a membership here at the Piper Academy, and will help you along the way to make some sound decisions in investing. Not financial advice, but I just tell you what I'm doing. And so far, I've done quite well. So looking at the Starbucks Workers Unions, 40 cities, don't go by it. They're on strike, guys. Starbucks open-ended strike, which will start with about 1,000 baristas and could expand in the coming days, could disrupt Starbucks' key holiday season. Yeah, you know what they'll do? I think you'll find out that a lot of these unions find this out. Let's go back over here. A lot of these unions find this out, OC. They go, hey, we're feeling really bullish on this this whole stance that we're going to go on strike and the company's going to come to the table and give us what they want. And then the company goes, you know what? We're just going to shut these stores down that aren't doing very well. So you guys are out of the picture. There's stores over here that don't have a union established yet. We're going to grow some of these and just open new stores. And the rest of you guys, yeah, we're going to start hiring against your positions. They have the upper hand. They really do. Especially if you're looking at economic crunch may be coming. If you're looking at an economic crunch may be coming in the United States, it's a good time to decide which stores you don't need to have. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't think these Starbucks strike union workers are watching the Piper Academy to get their macro and going, you know what? I better just appreciate my job for right now and drive on. Your thoughts on this, OC?
Absolutely. I mean, there is a delicate line between what's fair and what is overtaken, right? Especially when you have a market so delicate at this point, right? No information. Are we going to be having then rate cuts and not? I mean, man, it's just a mess, right? So I would say that because I mean, nobody likes to talk about socialism, right? But a part of socialism is actually,
Oh,
like
no.
compounding and asking
Mom
just
Dami does. Mom Dami in New York loves to talk about socialism. AOC loves to talk about socialism. Bernie Sanders loves to talk about socialism. But I digress.
And
Go
what we
ahead.
need to understand, and what we need to understand, it is that, hey, you know what? I mean, the government isn't going to solve all of your problems. So be careful out there when you really start stretching things out, because another part of the socialism, it is when governments start asking a lot of things to the actual enterprises, right? So the private sector, so they can, I mean, counteract what they are not being able to succeed. I'm not saying that we're in socialism. I'm just saying characteristics that they start leaking to one side to another. This is to understand that at some points, you need to like give out a little bit and understand that things are not going well, right? It's like, hey, we're sinking, right, on the ship, and then you start asking your captain for hours of rest, right? I mean, more hours of rest. But dude, you're sinking, right? I mean, you either work or die or something like that. I'm not saying that you should be dying working. Of course not. It should be just a mean to live your life. And I think that's why most of us in crypto are where we are, right? Because we're looking to break that system. But absolutely, I'm here
Hey,
with you with.
I've almost died 4 times at work in my career. I'm just saying.
Well,
I saw a post on X that said the fact that people have tried to take me off this planet numerous times and I'm still here tells me that I'm the main player character. So there you go. I'm the main character in this story.
You did have a job to die for, man.
And now what do I
Literally.
do? I deal with more stress on crypto than I ever did in the military. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
Yes, it is.
let's jump over. Let's take a look at a couple of alts. Actually, let's look at Bitcoin first and take a look at a couple of alts. And I want to come back and talk about what Willy Woo said over there on X, because he's got a pretty good article talk about M2 money supply. And then I also want to come back. Actually, let's go. Let me see. Let me see something here. Yeah, we're going to talk about this first. Let's go over here, OC. Come with me. You can be in the bubble over there. Bubble in the corner. Until you get back to your normal setup. Wolf of Wall Street talked about this. He said, is the 4-year Bitcoin cycle finally breaking? And I like this guy. He's a pretty smart dude. Scott Melker is his name. He said, I've had a growing suspicion that it might be, or at least weakening. Bitcoin is now roughly 1,080 days removed from its last major cycle low. Historically, peaks have landed around 1,060 to 1,070, so we're right in line with that. And putting this right on the edge of where the past bull markets have topped. So we went a little bit longer in this cycle, actually. Then near the point where real deviation becomes statistically meaningful. The usual playbook says Bitcoin peaks 12 to 18 months after the halving. If that pattern held, we'd expect to see a euphoric top between April or October 2025. But so far, there's been no mania phase. Altcoins haven't caught fire, sentiment's in the gutter, and most investors either sold early or sat frozen waiting for confirmation that never came. That might explain why this cycle feels so different. The crowd tried to front run the 4-year cycle, and in doing so, they may have broken it. You know, we hit all-time high before the halving this cycle. And so that told everybody, man, this thing is going to really just pump like crazy. We're going forever, right? But it may have actually broken it because it was front ran so hard. And maybe when that wave of early selling finally runs its course, Bitcoin could break free from its old pattern, begin charting a more mature liquidity driven path into 2026, punishing the early sellers in the process. Very possible. Also, we only have 3 real data points to define the cycle. There isn't enough history to call any metric law. MVRB, HODL wave, pure multiple, not infallible. And interesting, but not infallible. So, and I've talked about this 3 times does not make a pattern, right? So we got a trend, but that's about it. It's not a pattern yet. Eventually, the 4-year cycle will break. If not now, then probably next time. Whether that means Bitcoin's entering a new era of institutional flows and real-world adoption, or simply rewriting its pattern, is what makes this moment so fascinating. And then Willie Woo came in to talk about another thing. He was talking about the M2 money supply, global M2. That's what you always hear everyone talk about. Global M2, 95-day offset, right? Markets don't follow the expansion of global M2. They're speculative. This means that they price in liquidity expectations ahead of time. Risk assets lead M2. Hence, at global tops, you will see the SPX top out early, but you also see Bitcoin top out even earlier. This is because Bitcoin acts like a liquidity sensing mechanism. Furthermore, M2 is a flawed metric because when you assess the amount of fiat money in the system, you're measuring it in US dollars, but only 17% of it is actual dollars. The rest is foreign currencies because it's a basket of currencies in the DXY, right? So M2 is really is a statement on USD's weakness or strength. And as it turns out, there's a metrics for this called DXY that is much better metric to use when assessing the correlation to Bitcoin. OC, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, and then I'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart. What do you think about that statement that he made there? That it's really just keep an eye on the DXY. Quit watching the M2 money supply. It doesn't tell us anything. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, it's a very hard statement, but it does has a background, right? I mean, it's been there for a long time. I don't think that we just should be just quit watching it. It does have a point where it's a bunch of other currencies, but at the end of it all, it's money. It's money. It's fiat, and everything is runs around. It runs around the U.S. dollar. I mean, this just exactly how I would say futures work, right? I mean, there's futures traders here, right, or micro futures traders, and they look at the price of a contract, right, based on the price of an asset. And it's like, hey, tell me whether this contract is going to go higher or lower based looking at something else, right? It's crazy, but it kind of worked, right? It is not the most optimal way to look at stuff, but absolutely. I mean, he's got a point. And as always, we are on the trip of looking at what is the best tool to start charting the market based on what kind of market we're looking at, right? And how is it influx? It's like, for example, right now, Bitcoin, it not only have USD on it, but everybody gets USDT because it's easier to trade that way with a pseudo dollar than just do it with USDT. So I mean, it's trying to measure Bitcoin, for example. Hey, you're gonna be measuring Mexican pesos. Are you gonna measure it in yuan? Coins, or are you going to do it just by USDT valuation, right? At the end of it all, we're trying to get fiat, which is all distributed, to give us a value price on something.
Yep, absolutely. And I think he's got some validity there. I've never really put a whole lot into the M2 money supply chart. I mean, if you actually look at it right now, even with the offset, we've diverged. There's no correlation at all. So, and everyone was like, just look at the M2 money chart. How can you not be bullish? Because I know how to read the accuracy historically on this, and it doesn't always match up. So I don't know. How can you be bullish? I've seen this one time, and that makes it absolute. Be bullish. If you're going to be bullish because you did your research on something and it makes sense. Like, hey, Bitcoin's bouncing on the 52-week SMA. Gives you a reason to be bullish. Hey, XRP's got a whole lot of ETFs coming out. People are going to have a driven interest to buy XRP. Reason to be bullish. Hey, this M2 money chart looked right one time in history, and now I've got to like put all in on the M2 money chart. Guys, just do your research. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but do more research and don't be so absolute with what's driving your decision making process. That's all. OC, let's go ahead and take a look at altcoins. Bitcoin is dropping down a little bit. I talked already about the higher time frame. Still waiting on an MVP oscillator to give us a green candle. We'll let people know in the Discord when we see that thing fire off. But for right now, altcoins. Let's talk some XRP. What do we got, bro? Is it looking good? Is it looking good? Should we be buying XRP right now? I'm not, but what are you doing, OC?
Oh man, I was looking at SEC. We're gonna get back to this because it's looking very nice. I mean, maybe for a short look at that, we have a loud order block. But let's actually go and take a look at the XRP. I got it right here. Ready to go. So here it is. All right, XRP.
By the way, this is
not
Alex
looking
O's favorite token. His favorite token is
Let's
XRP. Shout out to Alex O.
let's call it loud in here so everybody knows it, right? So Alex, if you didn't know that it was your favorite token, now you know. All right, so just saying. So we were looking for a possible long entry in here. By the way, remember this is where we left out back on that was Friday when we touched back on this one. We not quite hit it. It was almost right there. But I hate when this happens, right? But it is what it is. Guys, remember, if it doesn't get your entry point, there's no point to just keep going after it, right? Let it go. You have your next chance. So far, very important. We keep riding the trend line, but this is something I don't like to see. Look at those pointy hairs at the top right there, right? I mean, usually they indicate that we're getting exhaustion and that we're not getting across that absorption zone, right? We end up having a engulfing candle, and looks like that's what we're going to be getting right now. If we take a look at our VRVP right to the right, you'll see that yes, we are in a smart money entry, but we already have taken it with the first big body candle in here, and then the next area will be next smart money entry will be here, and a ranging entry, of course, it will be right in there. Which means, long story short, I think we are creating a symmetrical triangle, and most likely we are going to be breaking it downwards in here. There is one more pattern to be seen in here, which is, remember guys, when we learn about pattern morphology, that only means, hey, try to see throughout the fog, right? Which, hey, this is looking like symmetrical triangle. But what if this is also creating a bullish flag, right? So I'm not gonna be putting out the finger out of this line, but just keeping in the back of my head based on that morphology segment that we could also be creating a bullish flag, getting ready for breaking to the upside. Less, less, less likely, all right? But still within the realms of possibility, which means right here, somewhere around this zone, as I'm breaking through and maybe having a retest in here, I'm going to be looking for a buy up, not for the long run, but just for trading. Another interesting thing is that we're trying to make it pass through that zero line, and if we are able to make it, we're going to have a big hole right down here. That means that most likely we are going to be breaking to the upside. But so far, first Bitcoin needs to bottom, and then we'll see the rest of the coins pushing through. This is news driven, but the craze might wear out based on the volume available for injection on XRP. So yeah, I mean, I do like it. I did trade it. I'm not holding it, but that's what I got on XRP. Want me to go over a couple of other altcoins, or want me to pass it over to you?
Go for it.
Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at here really quickly to link and data. I was trying to look at those yesterday. Right now we do have the result of what I was looking at. Right, we have two trend lines in here. We have the breakout, retest, continuation, and basically we have a confirmation that we're going to have at least a double bottom or a further move to a downside. Something important that is happening is that we're trying to break above. That doesn't always end well. All right, especially when we're coming low and then we have this rejection. Most likely we are going to have a continuation to the downside. So yeah, we have a lot of support in here, which means we can even break the trend line, but be careful and look for your reversal signal either there or here, because remember, if we're coming down, we have a reversal and we range. Most likely this is a flat pause of bearish continuation, right? Which means a further move to a downside might happen. Another important and interesting thing seems like we're having the same head and shoulder pattern with a neckline right around the 15.18. So keep an eye on this zone, and as we're breaking retesting, might be a good idea to apply it for a short in there. That's also in line. Let me see it right here with my linear regression. If I can actually click the right button, here we go. In line with my linear regression oscillator, because we are still within the bearish scenario. I think this is going to happen something like that. All right. So a U-shaped pattern here, grabbing some strength, going lower, and then finding a bottom pattern here, which is not bad at all. I mean, at the end of it all, if we go to daily, we are going to be making a double bottom after a huge bear trend. I mean, that double bottom then could be next leading for a breakout continuation. So I'm pretty excited to see this actually on these zones because we are on previous liquidity areas, getting very close to that ranging area. So I'd rather see it breaking through, finding some support that will consolidate the actual possible next bullish movement. Same thing goes with ADA, right? We're getting closer to that 0.800 maybe. I think I do see it right there. But the point is that we still need to break these two trend lines. Again, I believe that we could have that double bottom, and let me turn on a couple of other indicators, especially because we have a big area of support. Let's bring up my oscillator, not that one, this one here, and it seems like we are getting a goose head. I don't like the goose head in here. I like it to be in here with that farther move to the upside, but it is what it is. And if we have just a little bit of that money rush, we might be able to have a breakout somewhere around here and then a continuation. If it wouldn't be for Bitcoin, I actually will be calling for a long in here, right? It's not a call out, guys, but just be careful in this area. I will be paying a lot of attention to this zone. In fact, let's do it. Let me move my trend line here to have a little bit of a threshold. Let's lock it and let's add an alert to it. So, and also I'm going to add, in case we have a strip of the lows, a swing failure pattern somewhere around 0.456. That is for ADA. I like ADA, by the way. Then right here on Solana, and that will be my last token that I'm going to be talking about before passing it over to you, Piper. We're still within this bearish movement, and let's go to the 4 hours in here. Perfect. And we're having 1, 2, almost 3 bottoming patterns or bottoming sections in here. Something important is this is slightly pointing upwards. I don't like that. And just like in Bitcoin, depending on how you draw this, we could be breaking the actual neckline of a head and shoulders, and we'll be for that retest. So I would say it's time to wait until you have, let's see if we have that reversal. We have that reversal somewhere around here. Most likely we're going to go lower. Yep, we don't have the reversal on place. And let me just bring up my VRVP for one last good measure. And not much in here. Not really smart money entries. Everything is low. But, well, we need to actually hold this zone. When are we going higher? When money flows start breaking through and when our oscillators start again breaking through, going for that dynamic reactor, and then off we go. So in this case, I would be trying to long the resistance on the breakout, right? Not as a resistance, but on the breakout. So that's what I got on altcoin so far. Piper, let me pass it over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking here at SYM. BC asked me to take a look at this. This is a stock. It's Symbiotic Incorporated, producer, manufacturing, industrial machinery. He's always calling out good stocks, so we'll check this out here for him. We did get back here on 22 May. We got a strong buy indicator on this, and you can see that was right after a reversal, but we broke through the 200 week at that point. The 200 week moving average, we broke through the 200-day moving average here. You can see that's 200-day, 200-week, blue and purple. And then I'm using the Bravo kit. This is one of the chart prime indicators that was made for really for stocks, for a stock trader out there. And you can get it with the TA Plus suite. However, look here. See this cloud? This is called the Bravo 9. Okay. And it got a bounce in here, worked its way all the way up, started getting top indications, the purple nurple, got a buy max profit, did a little pull down, got a reversal, has moved up. Looking at this at the current situation right now, BC, I would say that we haven't fully, fired off the 789 count at all, and we didn't get purple nurples up here. So I think that this is going to return back up in. It's not giving me any major signs of loss. I would watch for $51. That would be a good line. It's going to be your daily dynamic reactor. And then coming in right down at about $40.80 is going to be your 200-day. Looking at this from the perspective of what's bullish and what's bearish in the stock world, we look at the 200-day simple moving average or 200-day moving average. And what that tells us is if it's above it, it's bullish. If it's below it, it's bearish. If you guys don't know, almost half of the stock market is currently sitting below its 200-day moving average. This one's sitting above it. Tells me that it's still bullish. I'd be looking at $40.68 for the first line in the sand here. Or for the second line in the sand, and then really that dynamic reactor, because typically it will play as a bounce point for us for bounces and rejections. Historically, that's been the case. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I would watch those two levels on SYM. I am putting together this whole list of stocks that we dropped for you guys in our Discord of the how to play the AI play, the data center play, the energy sector, the copper, all those stocks that are going to be really huge in the next 3 years because of the growth of AI and the growth of the power supply companies. Is AI a bubble? Probably so. However, we're not going to slow down on it right now, because China's not slowing down, and we're not going to put, this is the new arms race, guys. It's the new arms race, and we're not going to fall behind China on the arms race of AI. So I'm going to be putting this whole list together and be taking a look at that every single day. It's about 20 stocks, and they've even broken down which ones pay dividends and which ones are included in bundles of ETFs that you guys can look at. So if you guys haven't gotten that yet, hit us up in the Discord and we'll get it for you. $5 a month, man. That's all it is. And the whole reason that it's even money to get in is because it keeps all the scammers out, man. No bots, no scammers in our Discord. We keep it locked down. So but yeah, looking at one more thing I wanted to show on this chart too, BC. Look here at the MVP oscillator firing off bright green candles. We got a bright green candle on this one also with another reversal. So I do think that this first line here, the $51 is going to be a good key spot to pick up. We are getting bottom indication on the MVP oscillator. So that's what I got there. We're going to be putting all that out, guys, and I'll have it all isolated as a group of stocks that we can just take a look at as we go. The stock, I got the stock list and TradFi chat all pinned. There you go, BC. Appreciate you, bro. Autonomous machine manufacturing for factory automation. Probably going to be a big thing in the future, man. I think that's about all we got time for today, OC, unless you got anything else to go over. But I think we've beaten this horse. This horse is beaten. So it does look like we are getting some sell-off here still on the markets. NASDAQ's currently down about, let me see, refresh. Looking at my iPad over here to my right. I got an iPad, I got a monitor, got another iPad, got a big 45-inch monitor up there. That's why I was looking up. Yeah, we're down 1.7% on the NASDAQ. Looks like it's buy the rumor, sell the news on the government reopen today, guys. So be very careful. It does look like Bitcoin is coming back down to its 101,397. That's going to be your 887 on the platinum pocket there. So be aware of that. I do think we're going to pay a visit down to $98,000 before it's all said and done. And at that point, we'll look at the weekly and hey, do we get a weekly MVP bounce here? And if we haven't, then probably going even lower than that. Is the cycle over? Who knows? Could it be over for now? Probably so.
It is not. It is not.
For now. For now.
It is not. For now. Exactly.
That's what I said. Could it be over for now? Yes. And then quarter one, we get things. Remember, we're going into December. A lot of people sell off in December so that they can write it off on their taxes if they're in any losses. So don't be surprised if December becomes another red month for us. Where are we at? Before we go, where are we at? All over the place here. That's where we are. I want to see where we are with Novembers and Decembers here. This is the historics on it. Historically, when we've had a red October, we've had a downside of 36.57% on November. So downside 3.83, downside for November 36.57. Right now we're 6.57, so 30% more to go, right? For that. And then look at December. December, we get a lot of sell-off. Typical median on this is negative 3.22. Now we have had years where we've ran in, like 2021 was downside and 2022 was downside. Then we get that one in between, right? This is the run up going into of the halving year, right? So the halving year is usually pretty good, but in the inside, on the end of the cycle, the last 2 Decembers, we get red. So don't be surprised if we get another red here in December. So 2013, 2014, 4 years later, 2018, 2019, and then we had 2021, 2022. And then, yeah, now we would be looking at 2024, 2025. Very easily could be a red month. So don't be surprised. And then we go into quarter one, which is historically green. So take it for what it's worth. Do what you will with that info. Right now, all we're going to do is continue to dollar cost average on the Piper plan. The further it goes down, the more multiplier we buy with, and we call it from there. OC, you got anything that you want to go over, or do you want to talk about, or that you want to show before we get out of here?
Absolutely. I have 2 topics really quickly. That one of those it is well, let's get started here. I just see Telcoin popping like crazy. We have a goose head, which means further continuation up and then retracement. I'm not telling you to buy here. In fact, the other way around. Hey guys, most of the traders right now, the degen traders, are looking for coins like dead coins that usually had a little bit of that potential, and since it's very low, they try to long it, and that sometimes they long it at the top. Don't be one of those. And another thing, this is not a real strategy. I mean, it is a real strategy if you manage your risk, right? But just buying because it's low, it's not going to guarantee you gains. So if you're going to be doing that, well, then allocate small amounts of money in very smart areas in there. For example, right here, you can see that we have a higher low, and then on the breakout, maybe going for that entry. The next one, well, I would love to be pulled out with you, Piper, because there is something about the cycle here. And I'm saying it's not broken because, guys, I wish it was broken. If we break the cycle, I think 500K is going to be it. And we're going to have that video to tell you, we tell you so, right? But
hey, my Bitcoin gold bar whiskey has been shipped. So, when we hit 500,000, I'm breaking that bottle open on like crack that. And then Alexander G is going to be popping Piper champagne. Just so
Oh, that'll be fantastic. That'll be fantastic. Very important. The signals of the cycle being broken. First, going to be a shallow bear market. All right. So that's going to be the very first signal. Everything else, guys, the cycle, just like the energy, doesn't create doesn't create and doesn't get destroyed. It only transforms. All right. So every single time it's going to be slightly bit different. The cycle is not really broken, but it's going to be start shifting to where the market cap takes over, right? That's when we're going to be calling out the cycle it's broken. And I think the very first step will be a shallow market, bear market, right? So if we
50%
see that,
retracement,
oh boy,
70K.
Yes. All right, if we see that, guys, I think that we're in for that prediction video. But still, I'm not going to be, getting the dessert before the main dish. Other than that, that's everything that I got. Be careful out there.
Wow, you went totally robotic there, OC. Total robotic at the very end. You said that's all I got. All right, guys, appreciate you all joining us here today. Appreciate everyone that came in from the Otter Gang. Hit that like button if you guys haven't done so yet. It helps us out tremendously. I know you guys hate me asking, but if you do, here's a puppy in the chat for you. Gypsy emojis for everyone to hit the like. There you go. In the chat. Appreciate you guys. We will be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. OC, are you going live tonight? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Flip a coin?
Yes. Finally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Today
join
got
OC.
everything broke, but yes.
Join
Yes,
OC tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Trade Setups with OC. BC Port Corporate be back tomorrow morning with Good Morning Crypto, and we'll be back at 10 a.m. bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, peace, love, profits, and just be kind in general. Be kind. Later, guys.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional, damn it.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?